This is a Jowett Javelin, which my father bought new in 1953. It was lost to the family for 65 years. When my father bought it, I was 10 years of age. I used to sit in this seat here in the back. As a 10-year-old boy, just in there. That was about 1953. My father sat here, behind the steering wheel. I think Dad was about 38 years of age when he had this car. It was quite luxurious inside, leather seats, walnut dashboard, and last year in May, a man rang me up after the car had been out of our family for 63 years, 64, 65 years, and said, "I have your dad's car." So I went and saw the man, and he told me he was going to sell it. Actually, he said, "We'll go for a drive." So I again sat in this seat here after 65 years later, and I have to say I had an emotional time sitting there, thinking I was only 10 the last time I sat there, and almost shed a tear or two. Anyway, he took me for a drive. He let me drive it. I felt like I was the incarnation of my dad sitting behind the steering wheel. And when he told me he was selling it, I bought it off him. So it's a Javelin, Jowett Javelin, a 1500cc car, built in 1953. It was the first English car to have a curved windscreen, as you can see there. It also had quite a distinctive back on it. It was a very slopey kind of back, and anybody that saw these cars would recognize them immediately with a little Jowett insignia on the back here, Javelin. And yeah, so the car has been totally restored. It's nice iridescent green. Took the man that restored it 10 years to restore it. He must have bought it pretty much as a wreck. And so there's 50 years of this car's history. I don't know where it was, but I'm sure it was, I think, eager to get back to its original family that owned it. It's got a 1500cc motor. You can hear it running at the moment. Twin carburetors. It's a flat 4 twin opposed motors, similar to a Volkswagen motor, but it is a rear wheel drive. It drives quite nicely. It's got torsion bar suspension, so it gives a good ride and good handling. So back to here to Curio Bay, to where it used to drive to when my father had it. I used to ride in it, and I think it's quite a distinctive car. So I like to say that miracles do happen, can happen, and it happened in this case for me, and I'm believing for plenty more miracles in life. I think they'll do for today. Can't think much else about it. It's just one of those things happen in life. It's got quite luxurious leather upholstery and quite good headlights. The only thing that's different in this car is that the little arms that used to come out on the side to tell you which way you're driving have been taped up. They're illegal to have them, and it's had a winker system built, which is legal requirement today. The car of this age is not required to have seat belts. So that's the story about this Jowett Javelin. The Jowett company, I think, started about the early 1900s, and they did actually make motorbikes and Bradford vans. And in 1947, which weren't many years after the war, they completely designed this car, which was not a carryover from something else, but a brand new car from scratch. I think it's on 16-inch wheels. It's been totally re-chromed, repainted, and it's totally road legal. I took it for a ride to fitness and it didn't need anything done to it, so it just shows me how good it was. It's one of those vehicles that's got opening front doors, which means you don't ever want to open the door up when you're driving along, because it might get torn out of your hands. Okay, so having said all that, I'll leave you with it.